All right, welcome back to the Seriously Serious Show. I'm Fop. I'm in the studio today for Pels, but you know what? We don't need him. He can go do whatever he's doing today. Probably sitting in the back of his pickup truck. You know, I envision a big piece of plastic tarp, creating his own hillbilly hot tub, getting some ink probably, you know, a nice tattoo of a large pig, smoking a cigarello. That's what I think he's up to today. But what we're doing, far more important, we're looking at the book of Ephesians here on the Seriously Serious Show. We already talked about the fact that we've been created on purpose and that God's got a plan before the creation of the world. But now let's go down further in the chapter 1 there, and let's look at verse 14. It says, the Spirit, now you know this, right? Three parts of the Godhead, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, right? There's still God, there's still one God, but three persons within the Godhead. And the Spirit's the empowerer. The Spirit is the one that gives us the strength to be able to overcome, the wisdom to think differently. The Spirit taps on our shoulder and says, hey, don't lean on your own understanding. You can't do this by yourself. It gives us wisdom. It connects the dots between human thinking and godly thinking. It allows us to even think like God. That'll make your noodle. Here it is. The Spirit also makes us assurance, that we will be given what God has stored up for His people. The Holy Spirit says, you know what? I'm going to go to bat for you. I'm going to go to the shed, and I'm going to get that tool you need to fix this situation. What do you need there? You need an Allen wrench? What do you need? Crescent wrench? How about a ball-peen hammer? Oh, fire thrower. A Sherman tank? Flamethrower, thank you. Sherman tank? The Holy Spirit gives us the tools. It says here in verse 14, gives us the tools that God has stored up for us to be able to live out this freedom. Because it goes on to say, then we will be set free and God will be honored and praised. When you go out and you live the life that Jesus paid for when he put His name on your credit card statement and said, don't you worry, Eugene, you can't pay this bill. I'm going to pay it for you. He says, now go out and live on purpose. Live in freedom. Live in power. Rely on the Holy Spirit to give you the tools by which to live this thing called life. Don't believe the lies of a razor blade or the lies of a porn site or the lies of that parent who's verbally abusive. Believe the incredible words, the mouth of God saying you can do it. I'm for you, and if I'm for you, who could be against you? Gives us power to live in freedom. And when we live in freedom, when we live in that kind of power, it says God will be honored and He will be praised. So, looking at chapter 1 so far in the book of Ephesians, we're going to jump into chapter 2 here in a little bit, but I want you to really think about this. Are you choosing to live in Jesus, or are you just asking Jesus to be some kind of a puppet on your shelf of life where you pull Him into situations every once in a while? Because I'll tell you what He wants. He wants you to dive into the pool known as Jesus. And when you dive into a pool, you're soaked, you're saturated, you can't even argue. You're completely covered in who God is, and that's what He wants. Stick around. Chapter 2 coming up here in a second.